Hello, my name is Quentin Merritt. I'm a mathematician and a physicist here, a double major, and I also just won the most prestigious award in the country to pursue research at any institution I want, the National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship. So I think I'm pretty, qualified to say that most of what you're saying is based on old data. But my question to you,
I want you all to realize that.
Last month, but sure. For example, gender identity disorder, that's the DSM-4, bro. We use the DSM-5 now for psychologists to be able to talk about...
I literally cited the DSM-5 in the speech, and it's called gender dysphoria, which is the term that I use throughout the speech, not gender identity disorder.
You sound like a bozo, bro. And you get no pussy, and you can't even make your wife wet, bro, so what's good?
Oh my God, corny, lame, boo, tomato, 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 I'm throwing tomatoes.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Mika Reacts and Reviews, where we're reacting to things on the internet, and today we're reacting to Ben Shapiro. I think this is like the second time Ben Shapiro has graced this channel. I like Ben Shapiro. I like a lot of what he has to say. I don't agree with everything he has to say. I love watching his Ben Shapiro takes down, Ben Shapiro destroys feminists, Ben Shapiro destroys progressive, like all those videos that are titled that way, and which I would most likely title this video that way. And so we're gonna react into this viral video that went around where Ben Shapiro, I don't know if he took him down, but gets into it with this college student that's not coming off very great, not coming off very intellectual, even though he's somehow a mathematician or something like that, and has won awards, prestigious awards that would allow him to go to any university in the world, but he comes off like a low IQ dumbass, an over emotional reactionary progressive student like they all do usually, and it doesn't really make the school look great, because if that's the type of student you're producing, why would I want to send my kids there, right? And like the whole you can't even get your wife wet comment, isn't that misogynist? Like, I feel like that's like 101 progressive misogyny. Sort of identifying or talking about a woman's genital when she's not even there, in sort of a derogatory way. But I guess it's okay when you're a progressive black male student, slightly feminine, but if he was like a white heterosexual male or heteronormative male, then I guess that would be wrong. I don't know. But anyway, we're gonna watch the other half of the clip that I already played in the beginning, and then I give you my commentary. But before we get into it, if you like this type of videos, please like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support this channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course, it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, subscribe. And another great way to support this channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below, and links to all of the alternative platforms, my socials, and all the ways to support me or do business is always in the links down below. Other than that, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. All right, here we go.
So, let me just say, the nice thing about having several small children is I don't feel the necessity to have my masculinity
challenged by someone like you. If we're using a Western colonial idea of gender, then why should it apply? If we're using, because the gender binary is a Western colonialist framework of gender.
You're right. Men and women don't exist in any other culture.
No. Think about Native American. Nailed it. Third gender people. I'm not saying that. Third gender people exist in Native American societies, Western African societies, like Southern Native American societies, like Mexico. So in other places that are not white dominated, like the United States or Europe. And so you're saying white, so non-white people. I'm a mathematician and a physicist. You cannot tell me.
So I have a question.
And also, you're not a biologist.
So I have a question.
I'm 20.
As a mathematician and a physicist, what in the hell do you know about human biology?
And you got your law degree from Harvard. What do you know about biology? You got your law degree from Harvard.
And frankly, I would ask another question. If your logic is so flawed as a mathematician and a physicist, I would suggest that whichever institution gave you an award, revoke it immediately.
Okay, we saw that dumpster fire. I wonder if this person actually walked away feeling proud of himself. And he most likely did. He most likely did, because their bar of high standards and intelligence is quite low. When they consider screeching on the top of their lungs a form of actually debate and protest. I pride myself. I hate looking stupid. I hate it. You know what I mean? If I don't know something, I would quickly say I just don't know. I'm not educated about that. I would never speak about something at length if I don't know what I'm talking about. A matter of fact, like even doing YouTube like helps me educate myself, because there's things that I thought I was right about, and then like if I talk about it, I go Google it to make sure I'm right and be like, oh shit, I was wrong. Like let me not talk about this because like I don't want to come off as dumb. But some people obviously don't mind coming off as like moronic. I don't know. I'm not gonna play the videos, but Young Turks actually paraded this kid around as if he was some sort of like hero that intellectually took down Ben Shapiro, when he actually talked more like a third grader on a playground, talking about like your mama jokes and stuff like that, with the whole like you can't even get your wife wet, so what's up kind of language. But again, I guess they only care about misogyny when it happens to be heteronormative white men and not college students. And it's sad that they're holding him up as this is high standard, because like he probably will never go back and try to correct or even improve himself as a human being and think that this is actually quality debating. Yeah, if I was his parents, I would ask for a refund on him and in the school. I'm embarrassed for him, and I'm embarrassed for him because I really think he did a really good job on that. And yeah, that happens when you know, live in echo chambers where you just get patted on the back no matter what you say, as long as you're just sticking to the narrative. I love the fact that he said that gender binaries is a white colonialism idea, and then when Ben Shapiro pointed out that many other cultures practice the same binary, he said, that's not what I said, but that's exactly what you just said. And I love how, you know, this is a parroted, repeated talking point of like the Native Americans had like twin spirits or whatever, and this over here, like he didn't even like say the particular community or cultures or tribes. He just said like, yeah, over there in Mexico, like what? I love how they point that out as if like the minority people, the people who practice the minority of non-binary gender norms is somehow proof that the majority should adopt their practices. Like, I don't know how that's even an argument. Like, you know, there's cultures that practice cannibalism. Should we just take that on because it's, you know, not white colonialism? Maybe we should take on child marriage because it's also not Western white normative. Like, this idea just because some other culture is doing it, we should just totally adopt it is like a stupid, nonsensical. And also, just because other cultures have more than two genders or practice outside of the gender binaries doesn't mean they're a beacon of progressivism. Like he brought up Native Americans, they might have practiced outside of the gender binary, but it doesn't mean that was the majority. The third gender or fourth gender weren't the majority of the tribe. It wasn't even like 20 or 10% of them. It was still the minority of the tribe. It wasn't the majority. And Native American culture still very much practiced gender norms, especially back in the day. The women stayed in their tea huts and raised the children, cooked and cleaned and provided for the household while the men went out and hunted and gathered, right? That was still very gender normed. I don't know what he was talking about in Mexico, but I know Hispanics and Hispanic families throughout the cultures, even besides Mexico, Spain and stuff like that, very much practice gender norms and traditionalism and conservatism, like traditional families, man and woman, wife. You know, a lot of them are very religious, so I don't know what they're talking about. Like, again, just because someone practices out of the side of the gender norm doesn't mean they're a beacon of progressivism. You can take Thailand, for instance. Thailand and India, which I'm in right now, and I've lived in Thailand for 4 years, they also have other genders. They practice outside of the gender norm. Thailand and India has recognized transgenderism, and transgenderism has been a part of their culture long before the West or American kind of normalized transgenderism or transsexuality within the Western culture. They've been practicing it for a very long time, but Thailand just really started giving transgenders in their community like equal rights and even like recognize them as equal to anyone else. Like in transgenderism, they call them lady boys. There's another Thai name for it. In Thai culture, it was very much sort of regulated or pushed to the corners of sex work, and just now they've kind of come out of that. But even though Thailand has recognized transgenderism in their culture long before the West have, transgenders in the West still have way more rights and equalities than trans people in Thailand, and homosexuality is still looked down upon in Thailand. And people don't know this, but even in Buddhism in Thailand, they have a form of conversion therapy, because being homosexual is still frowned upon in Thailand. It's changing, it's growing, But it just shows that even though it's newer here in America, or in America, I'm not in America, they have progressed further than countries who have recognized it for decades and centuries long before America did. The same thing in India. India has recognized transgenderism, and transgenderism has been a part of their culture for a long time. I believe there's even a particular god who's intersex or trans or something like that. Back in the day, way back in the day, transgenderism, or people who identified as trans, was actually seen as sort of a higher form of priest or priestess or something like that. They're invited to birthdays and weddings and to give blessings. Now they're seen as lower caste, and they're treated as like the bottom of the barrel. Again, a culture that recognized transgenderism long before the West have, but they still have less rights and less equality than they do here in India than they do in the West. So just because a culture has another gender or practice outside of the gender norms doesn't mean they're the beacon of progressivism. Because again, in India, homosexuality is still looked down upon. So, not to mention, here in India, traditional gender roles are still very much practiced. Traditional marriages, marriage arrangements is still very much practiced. It's changing and it's progressing for sure, 100%. But transgenderism and homosexuality, gender binaries, pronouns is so foreign to a lot of the countries that these people are trying to uphold as a beacon of progressivism or as a beacon of what we should be following. It's laughable. Don't get me wrong, I love India and I adore Thailand, but it is no secret that they have a little bit to go when it comes to equality, especially for the LGBTQ community and women's rights. It just makes me cringe when I see these university students trying to point out these sort of minorities or these corners of the world as being progressive beacons because they practice out of the gender binary, but they never actually, they don't know nothing about the culture, obviously. When it comes to progressivism, the West is the beacon of progressivism. America, the West. The West and America are some of the most progressive countries on the freaking planet. If you want to look at the example or the beacon of progressivism, you're standing in it. You're in America. You are in the light. You know what I mean? Hey, so future Shamika here. I forgot to add that I like how the guy was saying that binary gender roles or gender identities is a white colonial idea, as if like no people of color, brown people whatsoever practice that. I don't know, maybe most of Africa, most of Asia, most of South America, Central America practice gender binaries and gender expression norms. And in the Black community, just in America itself, it's quite conservative when it comes to this. So that's very interesting that he said that, because it's absolute cap. All right, bye. So it's just ridiculous to me that a lot of these students don't know what they're talking about, and they just kind of parrot and repeat whatever they heard someone say. It's obvious because like the whole like Native Americans talking point has been said over and over and over again. We've heard it many, many times because of course they're not critical thinkers. They don't think for themselves, and they just repeat whatever they heard. Anyway guys, that's it. That's all I wanted to say about this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell to get the notifications when I do upload. All of that really does help with the algorithm, guys. And if you'd like to support the channel even further, you can donate. My PayPal link in the description box below and also in the comment section. Of course it helps, but you don't have to. You can just like, comment, and subscribe. Another great way to support the channel is either join my brand new membership program, different levels, different tiers, different perks, or you can visit my brand new merch shop. Links down below. And I also have a second travel vlog channel. I travel as a lifestyle, or I live abroad. If you'd like to know where I am in the world, you can go in the description box below and also in the comment section. Hit the link, go subscribe to my travel vlog channel, and or follow me on my travel Instagram. My stories usually was most up to date. And you guys have an amazing day. Bye!